Hello, Scrufftards and everyone else. Welcome to Warzone. I'm Scruffy, and this is Scruffy Tales. And Russia has the initiative up in Kursk and elsewhere, but Ukraine still has a chance. And I'm coughing like crazy in the video because I have got the man cold, plain and simple. So I get a cold, I'm coughing, and it's crap. Anyway, on to the video. Radio. So we're starting off at Kursk, and we're gonna zoom here at Veseloye, where Russia has made some important gains. They've taken this windbreak here, down towards these crossroads here, and this puts them directly north of where Ukraine has breached Russian minefields and dragon teeth and what have you. And this is where Ukraine can bring in troops and reinforcements to this entire area here to support the fight. And right now, Russia has made a significant push right into that very area, which could prove to be very crucial for further engagements in the area here. If Ukraine cannot hold Novy Put here, the forests surrounding the railroad here, it's going to be difficult to continue operations here south of Veseloye. We'll see how that plays out. Russia has had some more gains as well. Of late, recently, they pushed Ukraine back from this area as well, as this is still a bit unclear though. But Ukraine was operating here. Now it's unclear as of a couple of days. So Russia's had some successes here at Veseloye, that has to be said. What the hell, the map zooming in, having its a life of its own. Russia's, I did not do that. The map did that on its own. Weird. But like I was trying to point out, Russia has managed to secure this area since a couple of days back, and has also recently made a push down. You can see the map is not interested in playing along, but making a push down this way towards Pogrebki. And Pogrebki is vital because this is where you have a bridge across the river Malaya Lochnia, and there are only so many bridges across this river, and if Russia can't control Pogrebki, then there's only really these two bridges here at Malaya Lochnia left to support further fighting up in the north, as far as Ukraine is concerned. So Russia wants these bridges to force Ukraine back from these positions. And they are at the moment very close to securing a vital bridge. Pogrebki is not as vital as Malaya and Lochnia, but vital enough. That's it, I think, here in Kursk. The main thing being this push here, along with the push towards Pogrebki. Otherwise, we have sorry, a lot of fighting going on here. We're seeing Russians storming across these fields, being destroyed outside of these woods. A lot of fighting here in the fields between Tolsty Lug, the river, and Slinishliak. And we have also seen Russia trying to push out from Ubakovka towards these squares here, trying to cross these fields, and Ukraine so far holding the line. And these squares are basically acting as a fort to hold the line, defending Darino and the bridge across the river Snagos here. So that's that as far as Kursk is concerned. Map is moving around on its own. Moving down to to Kharkiv. Ukraine a couple of days ago had this major push. Man cold from hell, son of a. But they've also made some gains along the river here, along the dam, the lake, pushing up this way, along the banks of the dam here, which could indicate that this incursion here has had some effect, where Ukraine has moved in to threaten and disrupt logistics leading into this battlefield. This is the main supply route that Russia relies on. It's far more reliable than these two routes, and since I'm not doing this, this is annoying as hell. And with Ukraine this close to the main supply line, I think we're beginning to see an effect here with this successful push, as well as this push here. Russia is having issues on this battlefield, with logistics being disrupted. This goddamn cough, man, cold from hell. Anyway, moving on, talking about a bit about Pokrovsk. As you can see, I made a map here that's not really in line with present day conditions, but this is what the map will look like 4-6 months from now. It is inevitable, if you ask me. I think this is what will happen, and this is what Russia is after, if indeed Pokrovsk is the end goal here. And what Russia wants is, well, they want this. The damn map is messing with me. You can see here, you have a highway, and then it goes over this way, right, towards Rodivka. Take a look at this. They want this highway here moving to Seldove. And they also want this highway towards Kurakove that will then move on to Konstantinopel. And from here, they have a highway leading up to Novotroitsk. Logistical routes that can bring in all the supplies and manpower and everything they need to, in the end, attack Pokrovsk and Myrnorad right next to it. And all of this territory here allows Russia to bring in the artillery they need. They can spread out artillery, because Russian artillery only has this much range. They can only fire from somewhere within this line, or maybe out here, something like that. So they need to push in and widen the territory here to fit all the artillery they need to open fire on Pokrovsk and Myrnorad. They can't just hold Ochretyn, Prorezhny, or Rodivka. That's not enough room to assault these cities. I've talked about this before, obviously. And so they need these logistical routes, and they need to secure all of this territory to finally launch an assault on Pokrovsk. And as you can see, it also gives Russia the opportunity to move in and cut Ukrainian supplies. What the hell is wrong with the map? Leading into town. You have 1, 2, 3, and then there's a 4th road coming in here. So 4 supply routes and 3 railroads. 1 railroad coming in this way, another one here, and 3rd here. So Pokrovsk has quite a few supply lines, and Russia needs to somehow control those or disrupt them as they're pushing in. Because if they don't, then Ukraine can keep supporting the troops inside Myrnorad and Pokrovsk. And if they can do that, keep supplying these two cities with reinforcements, ammunition, food, whatever, then Ukraine actually stands a very good chance of breaking the Russian army in these two large cities. Right? it is in these cities where Ukraine can defeat Russia. Not out here. Ukraine will more than likely keep falling back. Defensive depth. They don't want to fight out here in the open and waste manpower and lives holding each line to the last drop of blood. They won't be able to achieve victory doing that. So what they have to do is keep falling back and causing as much destruction and as many casualties on the Russians as possible until they reach a line. Oh, this is annoying, this goddamn cough. When they reach a point where they can no longer fall back, and that point will be somewhere like so. If Russia gets past this line, then Pokrovsk is in danger. So Ukraine can afford falling back this far, and my guess is that they are preparing defenses like crazy along these lines here to defend their logistical routes into town and to prepare defenses of these two cities. Interestingly enough, since Russia made this early move before heading south, that leaves this area here. That area is a part of the battlefield Ukraine cannot fortify. They cannot expand the defenses. They cannot expand, improve, and what have you, because the Russians are already here at the moment at Mykolaiivka, Krasny Yar, and Novorodivka, Rodivka. So Ukraine can improve defenses all over the place, except for here. And this will be Russia's entry point into Mirnorod, and from Mirnorod into Pokrovsk. So this is also, I mean, Ukraine realizes this, so Ukrainian artillery will be aimed at this location as Russia is preparing to move in. And then hell on earth will begin, and we will have Stalingrad 2025, and this is where Ukraine can defeat the Russian army. That was my headset shutting down in the background. It's hanging here right next to me. So all of this area here, Ukraine can afford to surrender as long as they have proper defenses around Pokrovsk, and as long as they can actually bombard the Russians like crazy as they're moving in towards Mirnorod. And then in these two cities, that is where Ukraine can defeat the Russians. So there you have it. Ukraine will stay in Kursk for a couple of months, well into 2025, I do believe. And, Russia still has to spend some months before they are ready to assault Pokrovsk. And when that happens, that is when Ukraine can defeat the Russians. And the Russians obviously knows this. This is why they're taking time and spending all this effort to set things up before they assault Pokrovsk, because they know that as soon as they enter the city, things will favor Ukraine. So they will try and move around and disrupt the logistics, and they will obviously turn Pokrovsk and Mirnorod to complete ruins before they send in any troops. Anyway, that's it. That's the end of the video. As always, go på marsch, Ukraine, and give them hell.